Well, hello and welcome to Wheel Life, the video diary that helps you understand what life is like living with an electric unicycle. Now, this episode is a bit different because I'm using this to showcase a brand new podcast I've just started with my good friend Mr. Ian Sampson from Speedy Feet. And if you like the content of my YouTube channel, then you're going to love the content of my podcast too, because it's all about electric unicycles, PEVs, and other bits of fun and silliness. A very good combination. You'll find it on Spotify, on iTunes, and all the places you get your podcast content. It's called the Ian and John Unipod. And here's a few highlights of our recent show. Okay,
Right,
so we're going to start proper this time. Just to say for people listening, we're not in the same place. I'm in Milton Keynes, you're in the Forest of Dean. You're in the Forest of Dean, don't lie.
In the same room.
We've just spent the last 38 minutes trying to get the technology to work for this episode of the Unipod podcast. So as well, I'm also capturing this on video. So I might do some promotional stuff on my YouTube channel, try and get our listening figures up a bit. So if you're watching this, welcome as well. This is the Unipod cast, Ian and John's Unipod. But what I have been doing this week, or should I say this evening, is I have been putting some thought into some jingles for this podcast. Now, a while ago, I played you a bit of music. You couldn't quite hear it. And it set me thinking, would it be good to have some podcast jingles? So I'm going to play a few for you now and see what you think, see if you like any of these, okay? And don't write them off yet. And literally, I did this about an hour ago. I just ran to the piano and I thought this would be a good idea. And I just recorded these with my phone at the side of the piano. So this is what you've got. This is the first one. See if you like this one. Here we go.
Sure, I've read this somewhere before. Got a ring to it.
You got a friend in me, a unicycle buddy. For the next 40 minutes or so, you're listening to the Uni Podcast Show with Ian and John. And don't you know the Ian and John Unipod? The Ian and John Unipod.
Yeah. Has that got legs to it?
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, I've got two more, but I'll play them later in the show as a bit of a surprise for you. I want to talk now about legislation again. Last week in the podcast, we were talking about the state of affairs in the UK, and somebody had been to court and they'd got off charges. They've been charged with not having insurance and threatened of putting points on the licence, that kind of stuff. Got away with it. And we never actually came up with kind of solutions to the problem of what we can do to actually help get legislation changed. So I just wanted to run through some ideas with you, what any thoughts you've got, or whether you think it's a complete waste of time. I've written down some options here, okay, and I'm just going to give you these options and then see what you think to these, all right? See if these are the right options. First option is we just give up. We just accept it as it is. We just hope it's all going to go away, or it's just going to be okay as it is. Is that an option? Do we just keep riding?
Well, give up's got negative connotations, doesn't it, to it? Really, you could say don't do anything.
Yep.
So don't do anything.
Well, that's it. That's one option.
Well, let's go with that then.
But that's the option that we've been doing so far, and
let's do that.
And legislation is not changing. So the option of doing nothing, that's fine. We'll do that. But we will find that individually, we will eventually all be taken to court, and nothing's going to change. So that's one thing. The next thing is, it's a bit like giving up. It's just waiting for somebody else to tackle the problem. So somebody else will come up with a brilliant idea. Somebody else will come up with a way to challenge it in court that isn't damaging for others, that doesn't spoil the party for everyone else.
What's the chance of that happening now?
Well, I don't know. So,
no, I mean the chance of someone coming along in court and spoiling it for everyone else.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could happen. Somebody went into court and they came up with a
crazy idea.
A crazy idea to get away with something that might then add further fuel to the arguments that, well, they're not legal, and that would be bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
Here's another option, and I've seen this done a few times, or tried to be done, and that's a petition for change. So we try and get together a sufficient number of petitions to take the case to the House of Parliament, to have it heard for change of legislation.
How many people marched when Tony Blair wanted to go to war in Iraq?
Quite a few, I think.
I think it was one of the biggest marches in protest
Yep.
in the history of the United Kingdom. Did they not go to Iraq, or did they go to Iraq? I can't remember.
Yeah, I
Remind me.
can't remember myself. That I've to go on.
Pretty sure they went, yeah, you're right. 20 blokes went, yeah, you're right. Let's go in anyway.
But I forget what the number is now, but you need to get 125,000.
Yeah, but they don't listen. That's the point. You have to raise so much to even get a hearing. They go in there, they say, thank you, your honourable minister, blah, blah. It's been good to be here. And I've got a point raised by a constituent of mine. They go, time. They go, oh, sorry. Oh, thank you. And they sit back down again. And if you don't believe me, go and watch Parliament TV, or whatever it's called.
Another guy on the forums I was chatting to, he said once, his name is George or Jorge Tally. I think he's Spanish.
We're going to have people writing in with names that are innuendos, aren't we?
Jorge Tally. Oh, yeah, we are, yeah. There's a Mr. Hugh Jars has written in. And he says, once I've been stopped by Undercover Police. I'm Spanish, so I think it's Jorge is his name, and it was 5 years.
Uno, dos, tres.
Oh, no, that's why I was listening, obviously, from last week.
Yeah.
He said he was stopped 5 years ago, and my English was very poor, worse than now. They went following me around 4 or 5 corners, and they were shouting, "Stop, please!" Then I realised that they didn't say please; they said "Stop, police." So
Right.
that's the other thing. We could all just pretend to be Spanish.
Yes.
No me hablo inglés. But here's another option, okay? And I don't know what you think to this one. One is to crowdfund for a legal challenge. I don't know how much it would cost, how many hundreds of thousands it would cost to take a case to the court, rather than waiting for us to be arrested, but actually to get a barrister to put the case together and actually take it to the court. And if you went to every EUC rider in the world and said, this is what we're doing, and worked out the cost and asked to crowdfund for it, then maybe if everybody put 30, 40, 50 quid into their pockets and put that money towards this source, I don't know how much we could fundraise to put together a legal challenge. So that's one option, isn't it? To think about. I don't know if anybody's listening to this that is actually a barrister. Any barristers riding EUCs? Probably not. But I don't know if that's an option and what people think about that. Let us know. You can email us at Ian and John podcast@gmail.com. I've not sorted out the domain.
Gmail.
Not sorted. I've tried to sort out the domain, but I'll come back to that. The other option is this one. Okay, I went for a lesson last summer to do paragliding, and I've been interested for a while, trying to think about doing scuba diving as well. And because I'm in what we can only describe.
What could go wrong?
I'm only in what we could describe.
Jonathan Worley flying and then deep sea diving. This is disaster.
Yeah.
You got a death wish?
No, what I've got, the definition of it is a raging midlife crisis. That's what
It's
called.
mental.
But anyway,
You think on a wheel,
Yeah.
the worst that you can happen is you rip your bum open. That's what happened.
yeah,
And that's pretty painful.
Yeah.
But imagine now there is no escape. You're underwater.
yeah,
Or you're in the air.
yeah.
I'm better thinking about
It
it.
doesn't, but yeah. But the reason I mention that is that if you want to do either of those things, because they are dangerous, there are legally recognised associations. So they're not banned it. They're not said you can't paraglide or you can't scuba dive, even though those things are far more dangerous than EUC. I guess the difference is you're not doing those in busy streets on London or on footpaths.
Well, if you are, you've done something wrong.
Yeah, it's gone badly wrong if you're trying to breaststroke down, Pall Mall or somewhere. But what about trying to set up a legally recognised association? So similar to that you've got for the kind of people that scuba dive, is it PADI recognised, or it's called? So people would pay an annual membership to an association, and they would need to, as the same with scuba diving or flying, they need to be able to demonstrate they can do something to a degree of proficiency. And then with that registration would also come insurance. It would probably have to be a third-party kind of public liability type insurance, because you can't insure them as motor vehicles. But I wonder if that's an idea we could, I don't know, put in front of the Transport Minister. Okay, let's move on then. I'm going to play you a little jingle then. This is the next jingle that's going to link us to the next bit. Are you ready for this?
Well, I've lost your video. It just says camera disabled. Your internet's gone slow, apparently.
Well, strap in for this then. Here we go.
Don't switch us off, we're having such a good time with Ian and John. Don't switch us off, it would get me upset. I've been known to cry. It's Ian and John's Unipod. Ian and John's Unipodcast with Ian and John.
I lacked a bit of vocal commitment towards the end there, but what do you think to that
You
one?
did. It tailed off, I think.
Yeah, it went really
have you not got
badly.
auto-tune?
No, that's not awesome. That's my natural talent, that, mate.
No, I said, have you got it?
Saying I need it.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. I said, have you got it? You're like, no, it's natural talent. No. I'm saying,
Rude.
get it.
Rude.
Get it.
Ian, I've got a new feature for you now. Okay, we're coming to the end. We've been going for 27 minutes, so I'm going to...
Is it comedy?
This is... I'm going to play the next jingle, and then we're going to go into the next feature, okay? So here's the next jingle. See if you like this one. Again, this is not original music.
Is it you singing?
Hmm?
Is it you singing?
It's me singing without the auto-tune. Here we go. See if you recognise the tune.
Yep.
And his best mate John, they've started up a podcast. It will soon be number one. Yes, it's Ian and his staff mate John. People say it's rubbish, they all can't be wrong. Oh, let the children listen with parental permission. Everyone should listen.
Yeah, what do you think to that?
Very good.
Okay, right. So this is going to be a regular feature now. In the past episodes, In the past episodes, I've given you language lessons. It's been a bit of fun, but I thought what we'd do is we'd actually have a regular competition. It's a head-to-head. I'm going to set you some questions. Now, it strikes me that EUCs are going down a new marketing route that they've not previously been down. So we had the 9bot E and the S2. And then we've had things like, I suppose, M Super, where they started to give them names. But they're starting now to give unicycles names. Okay, In Motion are resisting the urge, and they're still calling them V12 and things, and they're just numbering them. But we start to see things like the Eagle coming
Great
out.
name.
Yeah, and Abrams.
Yeah.
So, starting to see silly names. What's the silliest name for EUC, do you think?
Is this a question?
Yeah.
Can I fail at it?
No, this is just your opinion.
It's just my opinion. Silliest name.
Well, there's one. It's not an EUC, but there's the Extreme Bull.
I can't wait. I got that coming in. The K5. So it's the K5. There's a K4, but there's a K5 as well.
I mean, if you're calling something, that's Extreme Bull, isn't it? I mean, that to me sounds like, who thought of that name up?
What a lot of bull.
And then there's lots of jokes out there about the EX or the X.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad, wasn't it, really?
In fact, wrong way. His video was just full of lots of innuendo about his ex. So Daihatsu made a car. Did they or did they not call it the Daihatsu Naked?
I wouldn't believe they'd actually call it Naked, but in Spanish or something along those lines, it probably is. So I'm going to say it's true.
Yes, it is true. And if you look at it, Google it, it is a hideous-looking little car. It's like a little mini Jeep. In fact, don't Google it now because you'll have the names of other vehicles coming up, so don't do that. Do that in your own time.
Oh, naked Spanish ladies. Right, let's close that thing then.
Spanish, your filter alarms didn't go off their name, you'll be running in a second.
So you walk in and go, cup of tea, and go, oh, no, it's not what it looks like. What are you and John doing? Nothing?
Once when I was doing a presentation at work, it was an event around about Christmas time, and it was lots of kids there. I should say that my career, I've worked in social work for many years, and we're doing a big Christmas celebration. And it was around this time of year, we have I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here on TV. This is going back about 10 years ago now. And we did this big event for kids, and I was hosting it. I was being the compere. And I wanted to do it in a style of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So I had the mayor came up. I think I had him kind of ducking for apples and then going into flour and stuff. So we got all filthy and messy, like fun games and that kind of stuff going on. And so I was in the office at work in the local authority, and I wanted a picture of a bush baby. So I typed in bush baby into my search engine, and you would not believe the kind of stuff that came up. It was all about pubic topiary. That kind of stuff. The worst thing was a picture of George Bush as a child.
Was it? What does George look like as a child?
Anyway, we get distracted. The other worst thing I did at one of those events for work, we had an Elvis impersonator came along. And we had this is a big fostering awards event, and this Elvis impersonator came along. He's the worst Elvis I've ever seen. He was the Elvis that he had an allergy to leather. He came up in a rash because he had a reaction to the leather, and it was like
a Phoenix Nights type thing.
It was proper Phoenix Nights. It was properly going for it. It was gyrating into and it was the High Sheriff of Bedfordshire came. It was like really proper dignitary. All people wearing chains and stuff.
Just like family entertainment.
Yeah. And he was, hunker burning love, properly going for it. And getting nothing from absolutely nothing. There was no reaction, there was no applause or anything. And as he walked off, as I was hosting the evening, I said, that's the best Elvis impersonator I've ever seen, because the real Elvis died on his arse. Anyway. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that gives you a glimpse of what Ian and John's Unipod is all about. As I said, it comes out every week on a Thursday at around about lunchtime in the UK. I've put the links in the description below. If you want to get involved and send us idea for content, you can contact us on ianandjohnpodcast@gmail.com or add your comments below for things you'd like us to cover in the podcast. But whatever you do, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe, and please follow us on Spotify and other places where you can find out all about the Ian and John Unipod. Thanks for watching.